YouTube, what is going on? Northeast Ohio here for a little live stream. So for those of you watching, future people watching, this will be a little bit different from my normal videos. We're just doing a little live. I haven't done a live in literally forever. And I figured we'd just do like a random StarStock talk live. A lot of people always have questions about it in my comments. So I figured it would be easier just to go live, hang out for a little bit, and just kind of see what's up. Maybe we'll buy some stuff, maybe we'll sell some stuff. I don't know. We'll see how long this goes. 30 minutes, hour. I have a hard out at 7:30 Eastern, 7:45 Eastern, so it won't go much longer than an hour. I don't even know if we'll go the full hour. We will see what chat is up to. Real quick. But yeah. So StarStock, we can talk about anything. Whatever. I am up for any card talk shenanigans. But yeah, what is going on, chat? If anyone has anything specific, feel free. I don't do lives very often, and it's been forever since I have done a live, so this might be a little more all over the place than normal. What is up, Australia? So yeah, primarily I want to talk about StarStock today. So for those not familiar with StarStock, online buying and selling trading platform. All transactions are instant. The weird part is, so it's like ComC on steroids. For anyone not familiar with it. So whatever card that you're looking to buy, so if you want to buy some Ja Morant, and let's say you wanted to buy some Ja Morant Prism, for example, all you know is you are buying a Ja Morant Prism, and you know it is either a StarStock A, B, or C, or a graded card, if so available on inventory. There are what they are selling for. There are no auctions. You can place offers. People can accept them. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But for those new to StarStock, the StarStock market is the Wild West when it comes to pricing and comps. StarStock A's basically get treated like almost PSA 9s. And in some cases, better than PSA 9s. Look at Ja here, for example. This Ja Morant, StarStock A, last one sold for $330. The last PSA 9 sold for $220. I have no idea if this is right or wrong, but it seems crazy. I personally will obviously flip A's left and right, and I just recently, in the video I posted yesterday, sent some A's for grading. Now, how the market treats A's going forward is really going to be dictated on how this first PSA sub comes back that they sent out about a month ago. So once again, for those unfamiliar, StarStock offers PSA grading. And you could submit cards to PSA directly through StarStock. $30 a card. They are saying a 1 to 2 month turnaround time. I'll believe that when I see it. Their first sub is about 1 month out right now. And according to them, because I asked today or yesterday, they said they are expecting it back by the end of this month. That sub is going to drastically determine how the market handles StarStock A's. If a bunch of people start posting on social media that, oh my God, I got back 90% PSA 9s, then StarStock A's are going to come down. If people post that they got 60% PSA 10s, then StarStock A's are probably properly valued. I don't really know. It's weird. Like, what would you pay for a Ja Morant base Prism that has a 60% chance to be a PSA 10? I don't know. Do you just do the math on what raw versus a PSA 10 is and just add in the difference? I have no idea. But people get sticker shock when they hop on the StarStock because they're like, why is this priced like this? This is crazy. Personally, I have been moving at least some money into PSA 9s. So if we look at my collection, you can see I have a PSA 9 Trey, PSA 9 Tyler Hero, which I actually wouldn't mind selling. Bought that a long time ago and kind of got stuck with it. A PSA 9 Ja Morant Select Premier. I recently had a Donovan Mitchell PSA 9, but I sold it. So that is no longer in inventory. Because I don't know what A's are going to do. B's are basically selling at raw price right now. What you would expect, if I looked up, DeAndre Hunter here, I'm going to guess without even looking that his raw prism is about $20 on eBay right now. That's basically what the B's are going for. So what that means, I don't know. It's just weird. The StarStock pricing is completely weird. So let's see what chat has to say so far. I did watch the video on how they grade Nico. It made sense. Like, I get it. That's Nash. The January 13th is PSA submission 2. They have already sent one PSA submission out. That sucks about Fultz. So if all these cards come back with a decent gem rate, who knows? I do not typically buy B's or C's. I basically stick to A's and I stick to Prism base as much as possible. So that's the other thing about StarStock that I haven't talked about yet. I've mentioned it on others. I think B's are fine if you're just starting out and you're trying to build a bankroll, but I'm not in that position anymore. So I would rather just stick with A's. They sell a lot faster, in my opinion. Plus, if I get something halfway decent, I may want to grade it. But I get doing B's and C's if that's what your bankroll is. It makes total sense. You can still make money doing it that way. And now I don't remember what I was going to say. Anyway. Oh, Prism Base. Prism Base sells like crazy. It's ridiculously stupid. Let me give you guys an example where, and I talk about this all the freaking time. Let's see if Baisley is a good one. No, there are none for sale on Baisley. Let's find. We'll be able to find somebody, I can guarantee you. So StarStock does not, people on StarStock do not like Prism variations for whatever reason. They basically sell for the same as base does sometime, depending on the variation. Here is a good example. So Kobe White StarStock A is $87. Last one sold for $85. Yes, that might not make any sense if you're not used to StarStock pricing. I can understand that. But when we come down here, so you could buy a base for $87 or you could buy a fast break for $92. Makes no sense. You could buy a green for $100. And what you'll usually find, this is kind of a bad example, a lot of times what you will find are the greens and the red, white, and blues are actually cheaper than the base. Let's see if I thought DeAndre Hunter was like this. I'd like to give you guys. So DeAndre Hunter last sold for $85. You could buy one right now for $79. You could buy his green and a StarStock A for $70. You could buy his red, white, and blue for $76. You could buy his pink ice for $80, but his base is selling for $80 to $85. This would never happen in the real world, if you will. Is Taco starting tonight? That's going to be fantastic. I should. This the only bad part about doing this time is trying to set DFS lineups. Luckily, I only made one. So if I have to make a change, it'll be easy. I already have a bunch of Keldon Johnson. I don't need to buy more. I have 4 Keldon Johnson base prisms that I bought for anywhere between $40 and $60. And my PSA submission to StarStock was all 3 out of 4 cards were Keldon Johnson silvers and a DeAndre Hunter silver. Now that pink ice for 80 is a pretty decent deal, I think, if you're big on Hunter, especially considering that his A's are selling for 80 to 85. This green should not be less than what a base is selling for. So I do not have that many now. Do not have 476 Keldons. Someone asked what the best recommendation is for under $20. I don't know. I have not looked at every card on StarStock. The best thing to do for low budget is pay attention to the news and try to jump on someone that is super cheap. The perfect example of that is like Isaiah Roby the other day. Now, it's not always going to work out, and sometimes you need to get in and get out as quickly as possible. I understand sending cards to StarStock. I've personally never done it, but just as a PSA, StarStock is very strict right now on A's. There's been multiple reports on multiple different social media platforms about people sending in 100 cards and only 20% of them coming back StarStock A's. Because they are really cracking down. And I think part of that has to do with them doing PSA grading now. Everyone's been talking about the whole PSA grading situation with them, and a lot of people are like, that's stupid for doing that. If they get a bunch of PSA 8s or whatever, it's going to tank their business. You have to be an idiot to submit a modern card for grading and get a PSA 8. Like, sorry if that offends anybody. Sure, mistakes happen. You miss something or whatever. But in general, you essentially have to be blind to get a PSA, to submit a card that you think is, would get an 8. It's so easy to look at modern stuff. It takes 30 seconds a card. You wipe it down and then you check the surface, corners, and edges. And usually corner, surface, and edges are fine. If they're not, it's usually extremely easy to see. So most of these worst case scenario are going to come back PSA 9s. That's the worst case scenario. I cannot imagine PSA 8s coming back because one, so they're looking over the cards quickly when they come in to give them an A, B, or C. And maybe they have a trained monkey doing it. That's fine. But they're also looking at them again when you submit. So I submitted 4 cards a couple days, Wednesday I did that. They've pulled those from my account already. They're going to email me in a couple days after they look them over a second time to let me know if all 4 they believe are actually submittable, that they think they would get a PSA 9 or 10. Remember, guys, it's in their best interest for them to get as many PSA 10s as possible. So in my opinion, they're probably looking these things over pretty tight. Because guess what's a really good advertisement for their platform? If these PSA submissions come back and a bunch of content creators and people on IG or in Discords or whatever are like, oh my God, I submitted 10 cards through StarStock. I got 7 PSA 10s. How awesome is that? No, they don't charge you when they reject them because they didn't get sent out. Because they're checking them before they get sent out, like you would, if you were sending them off to a bulk submitter or whatever, and you were having them look your cards over before they went out. So, no idea on when KPJ is coming back. I would love to know when that's coming back. Nash, don't let the cat out of the bag. That's a big the StarStock B secret is real. I haven't done it yet, but I've considered it. The problem is StarStock's really backed up on shipping cards home right now. I think the estimate is 2 to 4 weeks to get a card back, and a lot is going to happen. A lot can happen in 2 to 4 weeks. I have a ton of KPJ already, like a ton, and I'm not buying Isaac right now. He's out for the entire season. You buy Isaac in the summer. There's no reason to buy Isaac right now. He tore his ACL. He's out for the entire season. Maybe I'm wrong then, Nash. I could be incorrect. This is my first time doing it. But I could be wrong on the way that works. I just thought that they didn't charge you if they don't actually physically send them out. That seems weird to me that they would charge you for a PSA submission the $30 when the card's not actually going out to PSA. But I could be wrong. Maybe I misread that. I did not read the fine print. I'm going to be honest with you. I was just like, sure, these 4 go. I don't know what you mean by do you do basketball? All I do is basketball. 90% of my content is basketball. Not a ton. I follow the market loosely. I actually have a football video posting tomorrow that's recapping the entire 17-week season and what cards went up. Like if you bought cards right before the season started, like the Wednesday before the season started, I ran charts from then all the way through yesterday to see what went up, what went down, and the numbers were absolutely shocking. I was blown away by the research in that video on what a bloodbath the football market was. I'll be curious. I mean, I'll find out when, assuming that, all 4 of these don't go, or if one of these 4 cards don't go. So, I have not bought anything for tonight. I had a very busy day at work, so I was not able to pay super close attention, which I don't necessarily, I'm not going to force it. If there's not something that catches my eye or I miss the boat on somebody, I forget who it was the other day, maybe Bruce Brown or one of the Celtics guys. I was late to the party. People had already bought in and I just passed. So if you're playing that, like, I'm going to chase the news stuff, don't be afraid to sit it out if you're not first to market to buy the stuff. Yeah, it can cost you sometimes, but more often than not, you got to remember these guys are going to bust. You're buying like Carson Edwards and Jalen Brunson and Bruce Brown and guys like that. Like most of these guys aren't going to play well. There's a reason they're not playing in the first place. Every once in a while, you catch lightning in a bottle. That's why I always say, get in and get out on these guys. If you bought for $2 or $3 off news, and then you could sell right before the game starts for double or triple your money at $8 to $12 or whatever, just sell it and get out of it. I used this description the other day in one of the Discords. I said there's kind of like multiple waves to StarStock. The early wave, and this is like the micro super quick flip stuff. There's obviously like, I'm going to go buy DeAndre Hunter or Keldon Johnson and I'm going to hold on to him for a few weeks, which is fine. But like this, I'm going to buy on the news type thing, like the DFS approach is essentially how I like to describe it. My thought process is there's multiple waves. There's the wave of people that are buying before the news happens, which are speculating. So they're watching a game tonight. They see that, Luka tweaked his ankle late in the game. Looks like he finishes it out, but looks like he might not play tomorrow. So tonight they're buying Jalen Brunson, which this happened a couple days ago. They're buying Jalen Brunson for $1 or $2 a pop. Super cheap. News hasn't hit yet. That's wave 1. Friday morning rolls around. Luka's got a questionable tag. Didn't go through shoot around. Now wave 2 comes in. That's where the next majority of people come in. The first wave, I think, is pretty thin, the amount of people buying off purely spec like that, because you really have to be following the NBA every single night. So wave 2 comes in when the news reports come out in the morning, and then they buy Jalen Brunson at $4 to $8 a card. They run it up to $8 a card. Okay, cool. That's wave 2. Now wave 3 comes when the starting lineups come out. Jalen Brunson's already at $8 or $9 a card. People see he's starting. They've been at work all day, whatever. They hop on. They want some Jalen Brunson action in their life. They go and buy him for $8 to $12 a piece. Meanwhile, the people that bought last night are selling now at $10 to $12 a piece and making $8 to $11 a card or whatever. And the people stuck in the middle, they're holding till the game to start because they want more profit. And the people that just bought are stuck holding for the game to start and hoping he plays well. So the earlier you buy, the sooner you could get out before the game even starts and make profit. Because like I said, most of these guys are going to suck. The Jalen Brunson played great and his prices stayed flat or slightly went down. People made money off of them, yes. But the earlier you get in, the better off you are. But a lot of that is just blindly speccing on guys. I just follow DFS fantasy Twitter stuff is the best way. I've been doing that for years because I play DFS basketball pretty much every night of the week. So I'm already in the mode of following news, and then I usually watch NBA games all night on weeknights and weekends. Or if I'm not directly doing that, I have it up on an extra screen, and I have a whole Twitter list set up for all NBA reporters, DFS people, like your Zach Lowe's, your Wojs, your Shams, all that stuff. So I'm constantly seeing that stuff come across. And in a lot of cases, I'm not in wave one a lot of times. I miss stuff because StarStock is not my primary focus. When it comes to sports cards, physical cards are still my primary focus. StarStock is my fun side piece that I fool around with on the weekends, essentially. But if I see something, I'll jump on it, but it's not my first thought process. Usually I'm in the middle of doing something else. I like Darius Baisley throughout the season. I just bought a couple of them. I would probably look to move at some point in time during the season. I do like him, though. I liked him a lot in the off season. I bought a lot of them up in the off season. And yeah, Peeps mentions a really good point. This COVID shenanigans is really going to open up a lot of opportunity for random people to play for a week at a time. The 76ers today, I don't think the news has actually come out yet, but like 3 guys, I think it is, or maybe it's the Mavericks, or maybe it's both actually, they're going to lose like 3 guys to contact tracing for a week. So someone's got to play, and it's probably going to be these no-name crazy people. But here's the thing. I bet you if we go look at dug in the players right now on StarStock for those teams, someone's already bought them all at the super cheap price. The wave one people move ridiculously fast on this stuff. I'm surprised how fast they move on it. Because I'll go look sometimes. It'll be like an hour later, and I'll be like, oh, I should go check StarStock. And I'll go pull it up, and like all the low dollar inventory is wiped out already. And I like to kind of split. So like everything in my portfolio right now, like these PSA 9s, I'm obviously into for long term. Anything else in here, I would move if the prices got right, but I am in no hurry to move any of this stuff. But I always like to have a balance on hands, whether it's $20, $200, $2,000, whatever playing field you're working in, you need to be going in. You need to always have cash on hand on StarStock. Otherwise, it's going to cost you money because you can't make moves when you see something and you want to move on it. The other thing I do, I have a monitor and I have the basketball page open. So you can go to basketball, go to view more, and then I sort by latest sales. And when I'm watching games, I am always refreshing this to see who's moving. And I also have, I'm tracking. I usually have a window with the NBA scoreboard up and like a fantasy, FanDuel's live scoring. And FanDuel's live scoring gives you a very nice little chart of who's performing well that night. Now it's fantasy points, but at least gives you an idea. And I use that to kind of keep track of what's going on as well. And if I see someone really going off, I will jump on it. I was actually intrigued slightly by Marvin Bagley tonight. It looks like I'm not the only one. Looks like he jumped up to around $40 today. I think I'm going to snag one of these. So that puts him up to 42.50. I don't think Fox is going to play. And it could open up some extra shots for MB3. So we'll take a flyer on that for the night. See what happens. I did that with Brandon Clark last night. I didn't resell it. I still have it. It worked out fine. The baseball market, someone asked this a long time ago, has really been heating up lately. Tatis, Soto, and everyone else, and Acuna have really been going up. And another thing that you could do, so like Lindor's stuff blew up because of the trade yesterday. If you think these guys are going to go to big teams, you could probably pre-buy them and just assume that their prices are going to spike on any news just because it's news. So, Yes, I would agree with that, Nash, especially Springer, because he's probably gonna go to the Mets. And that would be even more fuel to the fire. So I don't know that there's a lot of, doesn't even look like there's hardly any Springer stuff even on here. And there's not much Bauer. I actually looked at Bauer the other day. StarStock is ComC, but an actual good version of ComC is the short version, to answer your question. I was hoping we would get some like crazy ass news at the last minute that I could make a bunch of buys or something really quick and do like a quick flip live, but I just don't see it happening so far. And it doesn't necessarily happen every night. Like I said, don't force it. Cole Anthony starting for the Magic tonight. I will not. If you want to flip draft picks Prism, feel free. That is not my bag. I do not like buying draft. Yeah, it's been flipping well on here. He already spiked up. People were already expecting him to start as soon as Fultz tore his ACL the other night. So this is already all baked in. If we look at the charts, yeah. So this is where it was pre-Markel injury. Markel got hurt, and you could see, look how quickly the market moved on this. This was the course of one day. This all happened that basically the night that Markel tore it. These were trading for $5.50 a piece. They're now $20 a piece before he even played a game, just off spec. So I have no interest in whatever the hell Formula One Topps Chrome is. Yeah, you got to time. Chris says he had 2 Lindor, sent him off the PSA. You have to really think about your PSA submissions, whether you're doing it on StarStock or whether you're doing it in real life. I know Card Collector 2 talks about this all the time, but you need to estimate the worst case scenario for how long they're going to have your card for. And you need to think about, so if you're submitting basketball right now, and you're doing economy doesn't exist, so it's going to be a regular submission. But let's say economy still existed and it's taken 5 to 6 months. Okay, where does that put you in the basketball schedule? May, most likely. Well, what's going on in May? The playoffs. Are you submitting someone that could be on a playoff team? Are you not? Do you want to be selling a player? Do you want to be selling Darius Garland come May if the Cavs aren't in the playoffs? Probably not. So maybe you send that bulk in anticipation to get it back for next October. So you got to really think about when these cards are coming back, because odds are when your submission comes back, you're probably going to want to sell them right away, or at least most of them, to start making money off the submission. And you don't want that stuff showing up at the low point in the market. And it's tricky to time it because PSA is all over hell with stuff. All the grading companies are, to be fair. Even 20 day, I think 20 days taking 3 to 4 months right now. I think 2 to 4 weeks, Titans fan, unless it's a fast pass card. I posted a video today actually about guys that went up the most this morning. DeAndre Hunter was one of the guys in that video. Preseason, I was completely down on both of them. I didn't want a piece of either one of them. I hated Reddish, and I didn't like Hunter either, and I was not shy about that. Now, Hunter's played well, and he got lucky because the Hawks had a bunch of injuries to carve out playing time. My concern with those two is that they weren't going to get enough minutes because that team was too deep. Well, everybody got hurt, freed him up the minutes. Hunter's grabbed it and ran with it. And I've never been a fan of Reddish, period. So I am not super surprised by that. I mean, Express is great. You get him back in a month right now on PSA, but it's $75 a card, which seems a little crazy. So, he's fine. People have already bought him though. His stuff's already way up. So like if you're just buying now, like you already missed the first 2 windows. Yeah. This is all today. So this is how fast StarStock moves. Look at this. This is all, or that's Wednesday. This is all today. StarStock A's were $8, $7, and now they're 15. So do you really want to buy into DeLon Wright at 15 bucks? I don't. I agree, Elliot. Anything halfway worth its salt, you basically have to express right now. For sure. For sure. I mean, Hunter's looked great. Like I said, full disclosure, I was down on him in the preseason. If anyone is not on StarStock, I don't know why the hell you wouldn't be on StarStock. It's great. They are still doing the promo code. My promo code should be in the description. It's the deposit 10, you get 10, I get 10, all that jazz. But that is definitely still going on. Let's see. Is there anything? I want to find a couple good. I want to ship home some cards. To see what StarStock Bs look like. So who's a good player that I could buy and have a StarStock B shipped home? The Indians are dead to me, Chris. They're absolutely dead to me. That seems about the going rate. I have no Jaylen Brown. I lied. I have one Jaylen Brown in my life, in real life. I don't think we know Air Vents. People are assuming that, but I don't think we actually know. A lot of people are saying they look their cards over pretty good and they're getting StarStock Bs on stuff. So who the hell knows? That's their rating that they assign to it, A and B. A, I think, is essentially their loosey-goosey terms are a PSA 8 to 10, but that's a huge range. You know, most modern cards in my eyes are a 9 to 10 out of the pack, give or take, unless it's like Mosaic Base, which are nightmares. But yeah, but Nash, I've gotten, I mean, I don't have my side camera up. I bought a Luka Optic off eBay and got a SGC 10 on it. I bought a Trey Prism base and got an SGC 10 on it. I've bought plenty of raw cards on eBay and got 10s on them. I got a Zion Donruss PSA 10 buying raw on eBay. So Trey Young Optic Purple Hollow on here on StarStock is yours. Let's see. Oh, you got a B. Is it a B? B Trey Young. Purple. I don't like their search interface. It's one thing that needs an improvement. The biggest thing they need to do. This is yours. What's wrong with it? Did you send it in? I love purples, but I like graded purples. No, you could do graded cards too. I have graded cards right here. I have a PSA 9 in my inventory. Multiple PSA 9s. What was I doing? Yeah, I don't like buying Bs. I don't want to buy a high-end B. I just want to buy something low-end and cheap just to see what it looks like coming home. So here's my theory on like the whole grading stuff through them. If it's a high-end player like a Ja, a Trey, a Zion, or whatever, I'm gonna guess their A's are not gonna get PSA 10s. So this is just my theory. So if I'm sitting at home and I have a pile of Trey Young prisms and I sort through them, my very best, if I'm gonna send cards off in the mail to some entity already, and it's a super high dollar card like a Trey or a Ja or whatever, why wouldn't I just send it to PSA and get the PSA 10? So super high end players like that make me a little nervous about submitting for grading on StarStock. I think they're more likely to come back 9s. And like I said, this could just be, I literally just made this up in my head. I have no idea if this is accurate. This is just my speculation, my thought process for how I would work through this. I have zero interest in the hockey market. So I'm going to look those over really well, and I'm going to just send them the PSA. I'm not going to send them the StarStock. However, guys that kind of come out of nowhere, so like Keldon Johnson, no offense to the Keldon Johnson fan club, and DeAndre Hunter, base prisms and stuff like that, I think are less likely that people are going to look those over super close, especially like a Keldon Johnson. Unless you're really in the know, most people were like, who the F is Keldon Johnson over the summer, and probably just loaded up all their stuff and sent it to StarStock. It's not like Trae Young where you're going over every single Trae Young card you own with a fine-tooth comb. So I think you're much more likely to get PSA 10s on the second and third tier guys, because I don't think people were as picky when sending stuff in because they didn't think it was a big card at the time that they submitted it. So I don't know. I could be completely wrong on that. My other theory is, and I've talked about this before, but not on video, and maybe they lay this out somewhere on their website. I have not looked. So let's say I want to, we'll go back to my collection really quick. This is a bad example now because I sent them in already. We'll just use Keldon Johnson as an example. Let's say I want to submit this Keldon Johnson base prism for grading. Okay. They're clearly not moving these cards to like Neo's pile every time I buy one, because I could buy and sell 15 cards in 30 seconds someday. So I have to imagine there's just a Keldon Johnson 2019-20 prism stack in a vault somewhere, and it's just all done on paper, you know, or on an Excel, on a crazy database somewhere that just says who has what. They know what they have, and it's all allocated out to individual user IDs or whatever. So I don't think there's an individual Keldon Johnson in that stack of 284 Keldon Johnsons that they have in their vault that has a little Neo sticker on the sleeve. So if I go to submit that to grading, I have no idea if this is the case, but are they sorting through that pile and finding the best Keldon Johnson since I decided I wanted to grade one and sending that one, or are they just grabbing the one off the top? Your best business practice would be to sure as hell make sure you pull a good one out, because it's in your best interest to get a PSA 10 as the business. StarStock wants as many PSA 10s as possible because it is better for them. So people freaking out about like, you're going to get PSA 8s. I can't believe you're sending cards with never looking at them. They don't want PSA 8s. They're not going to send a card if they think it's going to get a PSA 8. They want as many PSA 10s as possible, because it is going to be fantastic for their business if it happens. If it doesn't, it's terrible for their business. I was shocked when they offered grading, because it's a huge limb for them to walk out on. It really is. Because it really kind of like, it's a peek behind the curtain on how good or bad their A's or B's are. And right now their A's pull a huge, huge premium. So yeah, ComC scans every single card. StarStock doesn't. All you do is you get the base image. That's it. All I know is I'm buying a Keldon Johnson. I have no idea which Keldon Johnson I'm buying. So I got to imagine if I tell them I want to submit that Keldon Johnson to PSA, they're pulling the best Keldon Johnson out of that pile that they have out of all the A's. That's my guess. I don't even know, James, if that's a conspiracy theory. Like, that might just be their business practice. I don't think that's a conspiracy theory. It would literally be impossible for them. I guess ComC does it, but what the hell do I know? I just feel like it would be impossible, as fast as cards move on here, to be able to physically move a card back and forth, like a specific card. Like, this is my Keldon Johnson with my little Neo sticker on it. And then I just sold it to, you know, Baby Yoda Grogu 69. And then he, you know, it goes into his pile with a little sticker on it. And then he just sells it to somebody else. There's no way they could be doing that. So it's all done on paper. It would save them so much time and man hours. I have no idea how ComC organizes stuff. Yeah, I mean, to me, it's basically impossible. You'd be surprised. I mean, I have literally, so There was a night I bought Keldon Johnson a few weeks ago at 20. Okay. I sold it at 40 because I kind of forgot I had it up. That was the night his prices really started taking off and I could see where things were going. I bought back in again at like 42 or 43 or something. So I had bought the card, sold the card, and within 5 minutes, bought it back again. So, like, how the hell? There's no way they got some little lemming back there just moving this stuff from pile to pile constantly. That makes no sense. So, it has to be all electronic, and it just has to be a random stack of cards sitting in a vault somewhere. That's the only way. There's no way they could do this moving cards around like ComC does. At least I'm assuming that's what ComC does. Like I said, this is just completely speculation on mine. I would be absolutely shocked if a single A comes back a PSA 8. I talked about this earlier, Jonah. You pretty much have to be a moron to submit a modern card and get a PSA 8 unless you're just, I mean, people are going to miss stuff on occasion, but in general, there is no reason to submit a card. You should be able to look at a card in 30 seconds and tell that it's at least going to get a PSA 9. If you have any clue what you're doing, and even if you don't, it is not hard to weed out things less than PSA 9. The hard part is PSA 9 to PSA 10. I mean, a lot of people are just sending things that they don't care about, but a lot of people are starting to see the appeal to the platform and sending them basically everything. Here's the thing. We've all bought and sold physical cards over the last month. How's shipping been for you? How many issues have you had with tracking just getting stuck for 3 weeks on end? How do you feel about paying taxes when you buy cards on eBay? No taxes on StarStock when you buy and sell stuff. How do you feel about eBay returns 3 months after the fact because a guy tears his ACL? No returns on StarStock. People are starting to catch on to this stuff and they're sending more and more of their stuff to StarStock because they don't want to deal with it anymore. I would not buy any football until February. There's no reason to buy football right now unless you're quick clipping for the playoffs, and I think that's a dangerous game. I will tell you the truth, Elliot. My last PSA submission, there's a video posted of it. There's 2 videos. I posted a preview submission because I had someone tell me I was lying. They're like, there's no way. I hate these idiots that post these submissions that don't, because I didn't do a blind reveal. He's like, you're just weeding out all your 9s. And I was like, hey, dumbass, there's a video from July from 5 months ago of me previewing this submission. Do you think I'm thinking that far ahead to make a preview video while I already have the graded cards in my hand? Like, come on. So my last PSA submission that I got back, I went 15 for 15, I think it was, on PSA 10s. I don't remember if it was 15 cards. However many I submitted, everything was a PSA 10. I do not own a magnifying glass. I do not use one. I look at them under a bright fluorescent light for surface issues. I check corners and edges, and then I wipe them down with a microfiber cloth. Done. Surfaces, I think, is the biggest thing that gets people because I think people miss a lot of stuff on surface. I really do. I really do. When you say turnaround time for StarStock, are you talking about loading or not? Sorry if I'm missing questions, guys. There's a lot in chat, and I'm glancing at chat and 3 monitors and a TV all at the same time to try to keep up on any news that may be happening. So if I miss a question, my bad. I think I don't do lives very often. I think some super chat bullshit's on. I have no idea how it works. I don't care if you use it or not. I don't even know what it does. Loading times, last I've heard, is 2 to 4 weeks for non-fast pass items. And I think fast pass stuff is now a week. It used to be longer than that. There is literally zero reason to buy football right now, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, what direct one's talking about there? That's what they're claiming for grading. I mean, once again, anything when it comes to grading and a company telling me something, I don't believe it until I see it anymore. Sorry, SGC burned that for me for life. I will never believe a grading company again. PSA has always been lenient on centering. There always been 60-40 centering. That's nothing new. Dustin, I don't think that's true with being able to just name your price. Graded cards have comps and they're not going to go over comps, in my opinion, because they could just go to eBay and buy it if they really want it. The difference on the raw having a premium is because they are essentially, the market is treating StarStock A's like they've been Beckett card raw reviewed. Like Beckett does the whole raw card review thing where they put it in a card saver and they put a gold Beckett sticker on it with like a BGS 9 or 9.5 or whatever. You've probably seen those floating around out there. They used to do it at card shows all the time, charge like $15 or whatever. To me, that's how people are basically treating StarStock A's. Like they've been raw reviewed, like they've been raw card reviewed by a grading company. But just nobody knows what StarStock stuff looks like yet. The only thing I know is, at least recently, they are very tough on handing out StarStock A's. The Great 808, I do think there is some buying undervalued Bs is a legit thing that you could probably do on StarStock and have them sent home to you and sell on eBay for full price if they are way under comps. I mean, Dustin, we don't know if StarStock A's are overpriced. That's the thing. Right now, it's a great unknown. We have no idea if StarStock A's are overpriced or underpriced. We'll know when the first couple PSA subs come back. That will tell all. Because if the first PSA submission comes back and it is 60 to 70% PSA 10s, and I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. There's two sides to this coin. If they come back at 60 to 70% PSA 10s, StarStock A's are not overpriced. They are properly priced. If they come back 20% PSA 10s, then they probably are overpriced. But we're not going to know until that first sub comes back. There's no way to know. No, absolutely not, Max. You should move draft pick stuff as fast as humanly possible. I forget who's directly behind it. They just got a huge round of funding from a bunch of people. Kevin Durant invested in them. A bunch of other people invested in them. So I forget who's actually behind the company. Baby Swaggo, when it comes to sports cards, someone's always left holding the bag. Sports cards in general, to sum it down to its most basics terms, is one giant ass game of hot potato. You're just passing it to the next guy and he's passing it to the next guy and everyone's getting their little piece of profit off of it. And at some point in time, someone's left holding it. Regardless of what selling platform you're on, regardless of what you're buying or selling when it comes to cards. Eventually, someone's always going to be left holding the bag. There's only one or two guys per era that's not the case. Jordan, LeBron, Kobe, and then who knows out of this class? Giannis, Luka, Trey, Jaws, Zion. Odds are it's only going to be one of the guys that I just listed. Tatum. Everyone else is going to fade back to mild obscurity, and one guy will go on to be the next, whoever this era's LeBron and Kobe is. I think there's definitely value to bees. I just don't have a lot. I don't have a good feel for the bee market. I think specifically they liked doing the bees because they were limited on their initial amount of money that they had to play with. So I think they felt that they could attack more things going after bees with their limited pool to start. But I did notice that. I don't know that there's necessarily a wrong way. You know what I mean? Everyone's going to work out their little niche in their system and run with it. So what I do might not work for you, but it might work great for somebody else, and someone else might be doing the complete opposite thing and doing great with it. You know, it's whatever works for you. I don't think it's a pump and dump on StarStock. I just think people genuinely like the platform. I mean, it's not all about the quick flips. You could buy your normal guys to invest in the off season, hold them, and then sell them sometime into the season. Having sold a ton on both eBay and StarStock now, StarStock is completely painless. Not having to go to the post office to ship shit is amazing. Not having to worry about eBay returns is amazing. When I buy, paying a 5%, or when I sell, only having a 5% fee is awesome. The instant back and forth is amazing. You know, the fact that I could buy a card right now at 7:05 and resell it in 15 minutes if I feel like it is great. I bought a Ja Morant purple PSA 10 optic on December 23rd. I don't have it yet. It's still stuck in USPS land. I don't have to deal with that on here. Because StarStock A's are semi-graded. When you buy on eBay, you're just going after what shitty ass picture the seller took. At least with this, in theory, someone's looking them over. It's how much faith you put in StarStock. March, I wouldn't be surprised if that got pushed. Hoops comes out soon. As soon as Hoops hits, Draft Picks goes in the garbage can. As soon as these guys get cards in NBA uniforms, that's it. Even if it's low ass Hoops and Donruss, doesn't matter. Bagley would be my man. Most people don't use amazing eBay picks. Oh, I think there's still plenty of ways to make money off the platform. It's just, you know, there's about 1,800 different ways you could go about doing it. As of right now, they don't. I have a feeling they're going to open it up for 2021 hoops. Because you're not buying the stock photo, you're buying a card that someone has deemed an A grade. You need to get out of the headspace of the physical card, Dustin. That's your problem. No, I'm buying a StarStock A, whatever that is. I mean, I have no idea what that is, but that's what I'm buying. I'm not buying a stock photo. The biggest issue people have with StarStock is they can't wrap their head around not seeing the card. Once you get through that, it's whatever. Here's the thing. I'm never probably going to have the card in my hand because I'm probably just going to sell it on here. So what do I care? This is clearly not the platform for you, Dustin. You clearly don't understand. Yeah, what do I my whole, I mean, I talked about this earlier, maybe you missed it, is to sell the A's and buy PSA 9s. When I see a good deal on a PSA 9, I jump. So I've already taken my profits. I bought a Trae Young PSA 9. I bought a Ja Morant PSA 9 Prism. I have a Ja Morant Select Premier PSA 9. So when I see good deals on PSA 9s or 10s, I just buy graded cards and then just leave them sit there. Cash out is instant. It's PayPal. Or they can send you a check. Yeah, you can get paid out instantly through PayPal. I mean, centering's not the main thing, but I'm Northeast Ohio, Richard. No one cares about Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday just doesn't get hype. He's just not a hype player. Dustin, what do we care if we're never getting the card physically? What I'm never gonna have them send me this OG Anunoby I have up on the screen. I could care less what the centering is on that card. It's a StarStock A. I'm gonna sell it as a StarStock A. I'm never gonna have the card in my hand. This clearly is not the platform for you. Just stick to physical cards. I'll see you later, 808. Then it's probably going to pull either a PSA 9 or 10. Probably a 60% chance at a 9 and a 40% chance at a 10. Or maybe 50-50. We'll find out, as I've said multiple times, once the first PSA subs come back. You're not going to get a PSA 8. You have to be a freaking moron to submit a card that's a PSA 8. Do you know how hard it? Go look at PSA pop reports. How many PSA 8s are there? You literally have to be an idiot to get a PSA 8. StarStock is basically DFS on modern cards. You basically have to be a moron to get a PSA 8. But they're looking, the cards that you submit for grading, they are looking over again before they go out. And I could be, if they want to run any type of good business at all, I can guarantee before they send a card out for grading, they're looking it over extremely tightly because they do not want 8s and 9s coming back. I understand they might be loosey goosey on A's, B's, and C's to a general degree, but I guarantee when you tell them you want to submit this DeAndre Hunter base prism, they're picking out the best DeAndre Hunter base prism in their pile of 261 Hunter base prisms to send to PSA because they want 10s. I don't think you guys some of you don't understand exactly how dumb you have to be to get a PSA 8 on a modern card. What's up, Jacob? Does anyone else have any other random questions? We will start to wind down here. I'd like to be off here in the next 15 minutes. So I don't have anything, like I said, I don't have anything particular. Jared Culver sucks. He's a defensive first player. He's fine over a real life NBA player. I wouldn't want to buy his cards. You guys got to remember, hype is just as important as how good or bad a player is, if not more, actually. How much hype do you hear on Jarrett Culver? If by shooter you mean someone with an AR-15, then yes. The most expensive card that I own is a Giannis BGS 9.5, about 2 to 3K. I forget what they're going for these days. I would really like a LeBron Topps Chrome at some point in time in basically a PSA 8 or higher. Rui's fine. I don't think he's ever going to be able to get enough shots between Westbrook and Beal. We have No idea. The fifth beetle. We talked about this earlier. We have absolutely no idea. I highly doubt they're. Oh, Dustin. Here, I'll fix this for you. See you in 300 seconds. Probably, I would probably go to one of my five. So I have five guys that I like long term: Ja, Tatum, Luca, Giannis. Who the hell am I forgetting? Oh, Trae Young. Duh. Sorry, been a long day. I would buy one of those five. He'll be back. I just put him in timeout for 300 seconds to think about his life choices. If it's not for you, it's not for you. I get it. Like, perfectly fine. Yeah, you can price him at whatever you want, Alan. Christian Wood has like 2 rookie cards. Christian Wood's one of those weird players that didn't have a rookie card because he was a G League call up. So it's hard to invest in Christian Wood because he hardly has anything. And the stuff that he does have is super inflated because of that. He's one of those weird guys that kind of fell through the cracks. Hunter's looking pretty good. So, for those that didn't watch the video the other day, the cards that I submitted for grading were a Keldon Johnson Silver Prism, 2 Keldon Johnson Silver Select Concourses, and a DeAndre Hunter Silver Prism. I just went out and bought whatever I thought looked fun. Those 2 guys seem to be the hottest right now. A Keldon Johnson base prism, if it comes back a PSA 10, is going for about $1K. DeAndre Hunter's going for about 400 or 500, and the select concourses are going for about 400 to 500, all in PSA 10s. To be honest with you, I would be perfectly fine if 2 came back PSA 10s, and the other 2 came back PSA 9s. Or 1 PSA 10 on like the Keldon Silver Prism, whatever. I did it more as an experiment just to see how quick their grading was, how the whole process worked, to see if it was something I wanted to do in the future. I just wanted firsthand experience on it. And I didn't have anything worth grading. So I had all the referral dollars from you guys. So I was like, whatever, let's do this for some content and some information and see what the hell happens. So this is as much. I submitted those 4 cards as much of as an experiment as I did because I actually wanted to submit those cards. I didn't even have cards in my collection that I wanted to submit. I went shopping and found something that I thought would be fun to submit, just to kind of see what the process was like and document how it all works and what I get back on them. So we'll see what the hell happens. Give me an example, Dylan. No, I am not a PSA dealer for grading. I use I was submitting just myself. My first couple subs I just submitted on my own. My last sub I sent through Card Collector 2 out of Columbus, Ohio, who has a huge YouTube channel. Everyone probably knows him. He does local drop off. So I dropped off cards to his shop to go out. Those went out in October. I don't have them back yet. I wouldn't expect them back yet. I'm hoping to have those back like end of February if I'm lucky. I have another pile of stuff that I've been slowly building up for my next submission. I most likely will use Card Collector 2 again. The only problem is it's about a 2-hour drive, which is fine. I'm down in Columbus a lot. I may use One of One Sports Cards. They're a big Instagram account, and I didn't realize it, but they have a local shop, semi-local. It's about 45 minutes from me. They do PSA submissions, so I might look into them just because they're closer versus going all the way down to Card Collector 2. So we'll see. I would prefer to submit myself. I prefer to submit myself. I don't like using group submitters personally. The Joker has recently had a very big price jump. I am much closer to Cleveland than I am Columbus. Christy, I don't know if I'm going to send cards to StarStock or not. If I was going to, I would probably send them in the off season, to be honest with you. I don't like the idea of having stuff out of my hands right now for a month. Because even the real physical cardboard NBA market moves quickly. For example, say I boxed up all my random rookies and sent them in the StarStock a month ago. Maybe they're in there, maybe they're not. I would have left a ton of money on the table on Talon Horton Tucker night. Because I made a lot of money pulling Talon Horton Tucker stuff out of my boxes and selling it that weekend on eBay, where his prices went crazy. I probably made $600 or $800 on Talon Horton Tucker stuff because I had a bunch of optic parallels like blue velocities and purples and hollows and piles of base cards because I ripped a ton of optic and mosaic. And I just don't know that I want like a huge box of cards out of my hands during the NBA season. So what I'm probably going to do is let this season play itself out and then send them stuff as this season winds down. And let them hold it for over the off season and then hang on to it and be ready to rock and roll for when next season starts. Yeah, Taco's a perfect example of the news moving the entire market. Oh, the DFS slate locked. I hope I don't have anyone injured. I only did one lineup tonight on purpose. Here's my wonderful DFS lineup for the evening. Oh, DeLon Wright, strong start. So, okay. Perfect example. Let's look at this real quick. So DeLon Wright was trendy. We talked about him a little bit ago. Someone said, should I buy DeLon Wright? And I said his price is $15. To me, that seems high. He has started out with 8 points, 1 assist, 1 rebound, 1 steal. So let's see what Mr. Wright's cards are at right now. Still at 15. One just sold for $14.99. There's 4 for $15, 1 for $17.50. Also very limited inventory on him. Only 30 total cards in the vault. And I think we didn't talk about this earlier, but when you're talking about pricing on StarStock, I think another thing that helps, and we'll kind of close out on this point because I do need to get out of here in about 10 minutes. Snag a drink real quick. Everything on StarStock has a pop count. So I think that also affects the grading. And it's a soft pop count. It's not like a PSA pop count, but there's only so many cards on StarStock. So if DeLon Wright drops 50 tonight on StarStock, DeLon Wright's a pop 30. It's not like the real markets where everybody goes and digs into their long boxes for DeLon Wright. And by the end of the night, eBay's flooded with 5,000, 10,000, 15,000 copies of DeLon Wright's Prisms. On StarStock, everything's a pop count. Pop of 30 on DeLon Wright. On Talon Horton Tucker, pop 208 on his base optic. Pop 284 on Keldon Johnson. There's only so many to go around. So I think in addition to the StarStock A, that's what also drives up prices. Is there's just limited inventory of this stuff. And I also think people on StarStock are fast and loose with their money because it's not coming out of, so, you deposited your $100 or whatever, and you've been flipping left and right for the last couple months, and maybe you ran your account up to $500 or $600. So you go to make moves on StarStock. This is how I always call this. This is my saying for this. To me, StarStock is fake money. Whatever is in my StarStock account, whatever cards exist in my StarStock account are not real to me. It's just fake. It doesn't exist. It's not coming out of my PayPal balance. It's not coming out of my checking account. It's whatever. So I will be a lot more faster and loose on StarStock buying crap than I will on eBay. If I go to buy a PSA 10 jaw on eBay, depending on what I'm looking for, I'm researching pop counts. I'm looking at like market trends, this, that, and the other thing. On StarStock, DeAndre Hunter starts having a hot night. I'm just clicking buttons, buying some DeAndre Hunter. I don't care. Whatever. What's the cheapest one available? Buy. Cool. It keeps going up. Great. And I think a lot of people look at StarStock that way. I really do. So I think that's also why prices are inflated a little bit. That can change quick though, Nash, because someone can pull those 20 down just as fast as they put them up. I did not buy any taco. I was late to that party because I was at work and I was not paying attention to my phone when the Celtics news came out and his prices were already going crazy, and that felt like a trap. So I got the hell. I didn't touch it. And don't be afraid to take a pass. If you're late to the game, we talked about this at the very beginning of the stream. If you're late to the game on StarStock, don't chase it. Just pass. Move on to the next one. Guess what? There's going to be another guy tomorrow or later that day. And, anyone that's in the SCI Discord, we talk about this all the time. Get in and get out on these guys. Don't get cute. Don't be like, well, I'm going to hold Jalen Brunson for a couple days or Carson Edwards and see what happens. Good luck. If you bought for 2 and can sell for 6, get the hell back out of these random ass guys that are starting on any given night. Because not everyone's going to be Isaiah Roby where it semi holds value. Most of these guys are going to crash right back down again. Yeah, James. I mean, I'm the same way. I've told this. I hate repeating this story because I've said it a billion times. I put $25 in StarStock. I've never sent them a card. I've never deposited another penny since. Everything's what I've ground out, just doing flips and whatever amount of referrals I've gotten, which I have no idea how many I've gotten because StarStock doesn't tell you. No, I don't believe StarStock does send out a 1099 because you're not actually. I can't spend the money on my StarStock account at Starbucks or Target. I have to send it to somewhere else. So I don't think you would get 1099 from StarStock. Maybe if you requested a physical check over like $10,000 or whatever, your bank would have to issue you one. I forget how that works. And then if you deposited to PayPal, if it put you over your PayPal shit, like your 200 transactions, 20K, then you get 1099 from PayPal. Baseball has been blowing up quickly on StarStock. I think there's going to be a window to buy football soon on StarStock if you want to hold it long term. That's the problem. So if you're willing to tie up money in the next couple weeks to month, right around the AFC NFC championship games are going to be a good time to buy guys like Kyler Murray and Dak and Deshaun Watson and stuff like that. But you're going to have to sit on them for like 5 months. So if you're okay tying up the funds, I think you can make a really good profit there. But you have to be okay not having access to that money for a few months, which for some people, that's perfectly fine. That's no big deal. But if you don't have a big account balance to play with, you know, it could really cripple you on making other moves. So anyone got anything else last minute about StarStock or just basketball market in general? Otherwise, I'm going to sneak out of here pretty soon. So for anyone watching this later, in the normal, I'm so terrible about YouTube crap. Like, comment, sub, all that jazz if you're new here. If you're not on StarStock, there's a promo code down below. I also use market movers a ton on my videos. Links to all that stuff is down below. If you're serious in the hobby, I say this all the time, you really need to be using some type of data tool. I think market movers is the best one out there, so that's what I use and that's what I recommend. But use something, for the love of God. It'll save you a ton of time. Just make sure you use one that you trust. Andre, the only thing I would get sent back to me, honestly, are graded cards. So my general philosophy, how I am treating StarStock, my long-term plan with StarStock is to flip, build bankroll, slide some of that bankroll into buying graded cards on StarStock, PSA 10s, PSA 9s, and then at some point, I will have those sent home to me. Or leave them on there. I mean, there's a real chance if StarStock really builds and catches on, I could see myself sending them my graded cards that I'm looking to move to just sell on there. Because, like I said, not dealing with all the shipping crap and eBay fees and eBay returns and all that jazz is very appealing to me. I haven't heard about them adding hockey. I would assume at some point in time they would. I can see StarStock definitely overtaking ComC. There's going to be some old heads that will just not leave ComC. That will for sure be a thing. Devin Booker, your early leading FanDuel scorer of the night. Jeremy Grant has been just absolutely on a freaking tear lately. I do not collect hockey. I am 90% basketball, 5% football, 5% baseball. And that 5% football is mostly Baker Mayfield. They have soccer, so I'd have to imagine they'll have hockey probably soon. I think right now they're trying to ramp up. They're hiring a ton of people. I see them posting job postings constantly. And I think they're trying to clean up their intake, outtake, and getting cards up as quickly as possible and sent back to people as quickly as possible before they had any more sports. I think that's a valid plan, Andre. I really do. I'm just not going to do a lot of sending back and forth during the season. Same with graded cards. I'll just leave them sit there. The other thing you can do on StarStock now, too, is sealed wax. I wish they had sealed wax 6 months ago. I'd have a lot more sealed wax. I had a nice stash of Optic and Mosaic. I mean, a nice stash. And I was doing really, and Prism. I had like 3 Prism retail boxes that I bought for like $175 a piece, which I bought more. And I was doing fantastic not opening them. And then we got a pandemic and lockdown started, and I got real bored and kept staring at it. And I snapped and started ripping. And then once you start ripping, that was it. So I wish StarStock had that, because I would have sent them the wax, and then I couldn't open it if it's sitting in a StarStock vault. I mean, I don't know why you would grade OG Anunoby. I don't have OG Anunoby in my account to go grade. I think Ohtani is constantly hurt, so I wouldn't want to put any money into him. The hype of Ohtani is more than the player of Ohtani by a mile. Yeah, as of right now, StarStock is only modern. It is a very niche market for sure. All right, guys, I'm gonna hop off here unless anyone else has anything pertinent. We are gonna wrap this up. So smash like buttons, comment on things, sub the stuff, all that jazz. Use promo codes, all that stuff. And we will catch you guys. Next video is tomorrow. I have a video posting tomorrow about the NFL market, like an entire 17-week look at the NFL market and how cards performed if you bought at the beginning of the season compared to the end of the season. That'll be up at 9 a.m. tomorrow. It is already recorded. And then Sunday morning will be the normal week in review stuff. And then I have no idea what next week is. I rarely plan my videos ahead of time. Work's been extremely busy. I had some time the other night, so I pre-recorded a bunch of stuff. I don't like pre-recording, especially NBA stuff, because too much happens on a given NBA night that can swing the market. So no idea what videos will be out next week beyond the NFL one tomorrow and the weekly recap one on Sunday morning. Other than that, it's just kind of, I will try to do more lives. I'm going to be honest, it's going to be really hard to do lives over the next couple months. Work is extremely, extremely busy for my day job right now and is not going to stop until the spring. But if I ever don't have a topic or I have a down day, I will pop on and do a live. It's also hard to do a live during the NBA season because you guys and myself would probably just rather be watching actual basketball. So if I do them, I will probably do them around 5:30, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to wrap up by the time games tip off for most of it. So, yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. Everyone have a wonderful weekend and peace. Catch you guys on the next one.